Hey, I'm right back with another video. It's 10:56 a.m. It is March 23rd and it is Monday morning. And so I decided to make a video. I got up this morning and of course, I was looking for work and I don't see anything new posted. So I'm chugging along. Of course, we know that we are dealing with this whole coronavirus thing. So I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. So I'm just kind of writing it out. That's all I can do. So I wanted to make a video because, I'm bored. I'm sitting here in the house and really nothing to do. That doesn't mean I'm stopping my job search. It just means that I have to kind of look at different avenues to look for work, which is difficult. And really, it's difficult anyway because I don't really feel like I'm entirely in control of the outcome. Obviously, I've had people with their little hands in the mix and whatnot, and so it makes it very difficult to make decisions. I mean, I have to plan my life, you see, and as with most targeted individuals or people in general, I mean, people have to plan their life. And when other people have their hands in the mix, you don't know what to do. Obviously, people like to make decisions for other people, which is wrong, okay? I will say that the decisions that my ex family, my blood relations, were making were not in my best interest. I find it quite offensive that these people would come into my life, and I refer to them these people because I really don't have any emotional connection to these people, but that these people would make such drastic decisions, especially when I don't really have a close bond with them. Like I said, I don't see my blood relations very often. And when I did see them, it was usually very, touch and go, and that was pretty much it. So there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that I was not aware of. And so, also, I do believe that my ex husband, if that's even what he was, had some sort of say in my work. And perhaps maybe his family arranged jobs for me in the past that I had worked. But just because that may have been the case doesn't mean that they should have any right to say what I do now. And that's quite frustrating. So, I have a life to live, and it's difficult for me to make decisions when other people want to play these sort of games. Also, I don't want to keep going into it, and I'm not trying to bring up things to make an argument, but you have to understand my frustration as well because, I was dealing with a situation where, oh gosh, excuse me, whew. I was dealing with a situation where, I had made an effort to end a relationship through legal divorce, which I have the papers to prove that I'm legally divorced, from a lifestyle that I don't agree with. And so, you express this, right? Express this, and people think, they want to minimize your feelings. And that's terrifying when you're dealing with that sort of mindset. Like, um, it should be respected. If you say that you don't believe in that sort of lifestyle, which I don't, and also, when you think about the abuse that took place, which I've given that description of how that feels, when you know that you've gone through a severe form of mental anguish and somebody knows what the cause is and they're sitting there watching you go through this traumatic experience, and that's a very creepy feeling, okay? So it's essential for me to move away from that situation, which I did, okay? But, when people feel as though it's their right to interfere with what you need to do in order to take care of yourself, that's when it becomes a problem, I don't have any connection to my ex-husband's family. I don't even really know them that well. I don't, and but I do feel as though the actions that they took towards me was not appropriate, and I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it at all. It has put me in a very awkward situation to where I feel, threatened constantly. Like, especially now with this, I hate to say it, but I kind of make jokes about it, the coronavirus. It's not funny at all by any means, all right? It's just that I hear it so much. And every time I like log online or something, the first thing I see on my web page, when I say web page, I'm talking about, you enter into Yahoo or you go to Outlook or whatever. You have these newspaper pages, and it's always about the coronavirus. And I understand that this is a pandemic that's affecting many people, and it's a very serious issue. Okay, but see, I could have been established in a better place had this not happened. So I feel like, obviously, I won't take any responsibility for the situation that I've been put in. I will not. And so, and I won't. I will never apologize for what happened to me because I didn't do anything wrong. What we have is a conflict of interest. We have people who want to impose their lifestyle, their standards on me when it was not welcomed, it was not appreciated. It's not like I'm bashing their lifestyle, their religious views or anything, because I'm not, okay? But when you try to impose them onto another person without their will, without their even knowing about it, and then doing it through other people, this is something I cannot appreciate. And I have every right to resent these people for doing so, okay? I think that my family, my ex-family, or people in general, they want to pick me apart oftentimes because, they don't understand my life and my experiences, and they feel as though I'm some sort of, I don't know, I'm not well, some people think I'm eccentric. I think that my life is normal. Like, I feel like I have good morals. I feel like I'm a very understanding person. I feel as though, I think maybe because, I'm somebody who recognizes if a relationship is bad, that I'm going to take the initiative to exit it. Whereas, like, for example, my ex-oldest sister, Tanya, she feels like she needs to stay with her husband no matter how he treats her, okay? But I'm not one of those people. You know what I mean? I understand what abuse is. And this is abuse. It's abusive, okay? So I'm going to leave, and I was never told when I was younger that this is the standard. I had every right to live my life as I want to, and I have every right to live my life as I want to. Just because there's a lot of women my age who are married, have children, some people even have grandchildren, doesn't necessarily mean that's right for me. Like I was talking to someone yesterday or 2 days ago or whatever, and he was saying, hey, I don't like kids, okay? I don't like kids. Well, if you don't like kids, then don't have kids. You know what I mean? If you see yourself as somebody who's not going to want to be in a marriage, then don't get married, because you're not going to be a good wife. You know what I mean? And there's no way in the world, that anything's going to change that. You're the only person who knows what's right for you. It doesn't matter how old you are. Just because, a woman's able to have children, biologically able to have children, doesn't mean she should have any. We have plenty of examples of women who beat their children, kill their children, although I would never do something like that. But that's a good example of it. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. You know what I mean? And so I feel as though, even for marriages that somehow might allow you to have some sort of financial opportunities, I don't see any difference between taking advantage of that or somebody who is a whore. I don't see any difference, because all the money in the world would not want me to be in a relationship like that. It just wouldn't, okay? I wouldn't care if you said, well, I'm going to give you, enough money to live for the rest of your life, okay? You don't even have to work. You just have to be with this person for the rest of your life. And I would say no. And a lot of people would say, you're crazy, you're lying. I would not. Because, money is good, okay? Don't get me wrong. It's nice to have money, okay? But money, I'm one of those people who is fully aware that money is not everything. Now, I will remember there was a time where I felt as though when I was with my ex-husband, if that's even what he was, when I was making enough money, and we had, we were spending a lot of money, okay? We were just like, and a lot of that money that we were spending was, I think I was because I knew I wasn't happy, which is a lot of people do. They know they're not happy, so they try to put their focus on materialism because they're not happy, okay? And so I understand that is a huge mistake, okay? But that was years ago. But still, my point is that, materialism is not what makes me happy. So some people will say, well, then what are your career goals? Why do you want to do certain things? At this point in my life, I'm not looking for management positions. I'm just looking for something that I feel that I can do, that I have the skills for, and make a living. That it's that simple. Because when I was yanked out of everything that I thought I was working towards or what I cared about, what I was doing, you know, and it took me a while to understand that these people weren't playing fair with me, and I accepted that. So I moved on. You know what I mean? And I can't sit there and all I can do is look for options where um, I feel as though I can do the job right, and I would enjoy what I'm doing if as long as if I applied to that job. Obviously, I feel as though that would be enough for me. That has something. It's not about um, anything else really at this point. Okay, I mean, sure, I have to think about my long term, but there's no such thing as planning for your long term anymore. As you can see, what's going on right now in the world, you know, it's very difficult. And then also, when you have other people who are throwing their hands in the mix, it's very hard for you to figure out what you're going to do, because what these people selfishly want you to do is do things that are completely opposite of everything that you are familiar with and everything that you know and everything you like to do and everything that stimulates you and everything that motivates you. They want you to work in the most demoralizing manner that you possibly can. So what would that result in? You know what I mean? Like, I will tell you right now, the last job that I worked that was assigned to me under illegal conditions, which I was terminated under illegal conditions, that brought me no joy at all. If anything, it just brought me extreme anxiety 24 hours a day. You know what I mean? Because I was working in a situation where I wasn't being fully evaluated based on anything other than stupid shit. Stupid, frivolous shit. That was, to me, just ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous, okay? I don't expect somebody to tell me what I'm supposed to do when I'm close to 50 years old. Yeah, I'm close to 50 years old, okay? And I think, because I have my life that's set up differently than these people. And no matter what you do, I mean, you can sit here and try your hardest to pick apart how I live my life, but I don't see anything wrong with the way I live my life. I really don't. I will not make apologies for how I live my life. I live a good life. I live a good life. Meaning, no, I'm not married. I'm not somebody who has to tend to little children. But that's not for everybody. It just isn't. You know what I mean? Basically, I'm somebody who goes to work and I come home. And so what is it that these people expect from me? They want me to live a conventional lifestyle. Well, you know what? Sometimes things happen to where they can't. If you come from an abusive family, or you've been put in a system like this where you're dealing with perpetrators, or maybe the idea of maybe a honey pot or honey trap, they call them, might roll into your life. For those people who don't know what that is, it's somebody who has been in connection with people who are perps, like your ex-family, or maybe somebody who has something against you, and they will send somebody who fits that description or idea of what you think is a good partner or whatever. They just somehow get into your life, okay? I'm not interested in that. And aside from that, I understand, I don't want to get married. Okay, it's that simple. I don't want to be married. Why? Because number one, I'm just not. I don't think I'm capable of that. I'm not capable of it. I'm just not. Okay, and then number two, I don't want any children. You know what I mean? I'm not at the point where I'm going to produce children. Sure, I could biologically have some, but I'm almost 50 years old. By the time the kid is 10, I'm going to be 60 years old. Okay. By the time they're 20, I may not even be alive. So it's just stupid to think that. Okay. And I get tired of people talking about my love life or anything like that. The thing is that, and then you have people who don't understand that, proper hygiene and good grooming skills has nothing to do with love. Has nothing to do with love, wanting to be in a relationship, anything like that at all. So I get tired of that being thrown into the mix. It's got nothing to do with it. Personally, what I believe is that people should be well-groomed. They should be well-groomed. That's my lifestyle. That's what I believe, okay? I'm not saying everybody should be, because there's a lot of men who don't care about those things. They don't, okay? But in my world, the way that I see things, okay,
And who the people that I tend to gravitate to, I want to get to know, are the people who are like that. That's just how it is. I mean, I believe that people should be well dressed as well as they can. Now, some people can dress better, some people don't, you know. But the thing is, I don't feel as though what I was wearing to work, which is really what matters when you show up to that job, okay, was anything inappropriate. Was anything inappropriate? You know what I mean? It's the standard office attire. Standard office attire is what I do. Okay, so I what these people do, they're violating my rights, and that is wrong. Okay, I have every right to wear jeans to work, slacks to work, dresses to work, same stuff that most women wear. Okay, but the thing is that they feel, and I felt the reason why they were trying to limit what I was wearing to work is because they were trying to force me into a marriage. That to me is terrifying. You know what I mean? It's inappropriate. You know what I mean? You want me to give up my life to be with somebody who I don't love. Think about that. You know what I mean? Or anybody who would sit there and try to impose that shit on me. I could not possibly like you. You know? I couldn't possibly. You know, this is my life. I don't want any other life. Now, mind you, I understand when you walk out that door, there's a certain thing that is expected of people who are 50 years old. Okay, so you go and you communicate with other people. Hi, good morning, how are you? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? There are certain things you might wear in your house that you shouldn't be wearing outside. I fully understand that. Fully understand that, okay? Like there was this article about this lady who likes her 1950s home, okay? In her mind, I think it's like 1957, 1958. For some reason, she likes those styles, okay? Everything in her house reflects that. When she gets home from work, the first thing that she does is she puts on one of those old dresses, does her hair up like that. This is her world. This is her home, okay? Your home, wherever it is you live, okay, is meant to nurture you, meant to not only provide shelter, but also nurture you, comfort you. And that's how she finds her comfort. Okay. Now, when she gets home, when she goes out the door, she puts on probably everyday standard attire that most people wear in the modern age. Okay. And she goes to work. Now, there's this other lady who's an African American lady. That lady I was talking about, she was a white lady. There's an African American lady, right? In her mind, okay, she's never been to Africa, okay, but she feels very close to her African roots, okay? So, when she goes to work, she wears regular stuff, slacks, dresses, whatever. She has her way about her. She looks like she can blend in, okay? She probably works with a lot of white people, but she still blends into the best of her ability. Meaning she dresses the same way that most people dress. Slacks, dress jacket, button-up shirt or shell, does her hair same way, you know, or whatever. She looks presentable for work. But when she gets home, she slips into her African clothes. And she made this video about, you know, the inner African in her. And this is what she is. This is her home. This is where she finds comfort. This is what she has the right to do. Okay? Some people find comfort in those sort of things, and that's their right to do it. You see, but when you sit here and try to, like, you know, have other people police you what you're doing while you're not at the job, and somehow that's going to sit here and determine what you do at work, that's bullshit. Now, I can understand if I was the kind of person that was partying all the time, you know, hanging out, socializing, sleeping with a bunch of people, which, you know, I'm not going to do that. But still, if that was my lifestyle, okay, to where I was doing things that were going to bring reproach on a company's name or something like that, like, for example, I'm trash talking a company, I'm doing this sort of stuff, then that's understandable, because what you're doing outside of work is you're doing something that's directly of reflecting that job. Okay? But I've done no such thing. When I leave my home, I'm either leaving it for one particular reason, I get my stuff, or I'm going to the park or whatever, and then I come right back home, and then I have every right to do what I want to do. If I want to wear slacks, if I want to wear jeans, if I want to stay in my pajamas all day, that's my choice. So what I deal with is I deal with a lot of narcissistic people. Okay? Okay? I think, you know, my family, my ex-family, they're control freaks. Okay? And I'm coming to understand that. It took me a few years to get it, but I understand that. It's like, I remember, you know, when I was younger, John Lennon died, right? John Lennon died in 1980. Okay. And from that time on, there was this huge Beatle revival. Okay. It was like this huge thing. And I remember I was interested in it because they started bringing out Beatle cartoons. They started replaying those, putting their music back on the station. Of course, my parents recognized it. I loved it. I was like so into it. I remember I had this Beatle magazine. I think it was People Special Edition or something. And I was walking down the hall with it, and my brother was like all controlling about it. It's like, what are you doing with that? Blah, 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 blah. These people, okay, they feel this morbid pleasure in trying to dictate everything. Now, you can't tell, you have no right to tell people what they should like, what kind of magazines, but this is the kind of mentality that these people have. Okay? I'm 50 years old. I am no longer under that roof. Okay? And you don't have the right to tell me. So you want to arrange jobs for me? I understand. You know, like when you go to work, what you do at work is what you do at work, okay? Now, if I was a heroin addict and it was affecting my ability to do my job, you know what I mean? Because that stuff's still in my system. If I took it like, 2 or 3 days ago and then I'm like operating machinery, or I fall over on my head at the workplace, then that's an issue. Okay, which obviously I'm not a heroin addict, but those are the issues that need to be addressed, okay? But my hobbies of whatever, if I like painting, if I like sewing, that has nothing to do with work. So I feel as though everything that my behavior patterns were supposed to be modified so I can stay in a relationship that I don't want. I don't want. Okay? So I feel extremely abused. And then the very fact that I'm sitting here, in the midst of this coronavirus thing, this coronavirus, right? I keep whispering that or saying that out loud as I'm walking through the house because it's just being pounded in my head 24 hours a day. Okay, and I feel like I'm just like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do? I need to get out and get a job. Okay, but these people are picking over stupid details that are abusive to me. They're abusive. Okay, we want you to be your religion. You can forget that right now. I'm never going to accept your church, your views on it. I'm never going to. Okay, and I'm sorry that was ever brought up. It should have never been brought up. Okay, it should have never been brought up at all. Okay, religion doesn't belong in the workplace. Do I think that people, like, sometimes it's appropriate. Some people say prayers at work, like there's a sick coworker, there's something horrible that happened, like 9/11 happened. So people want to get together and they want to pray. That's fine. Okay, that's fully understandable. Okay, there's a huge tragedy that's affecting many people. So some people feel like they want to get together and they want to pray. Fine. But when you try to tell me how to see God, you tell each other person how to see God. When you are living in a country that is built on this foundation, okay, one of the reasons why we have this country is because for the religious freedoms. You know what I mean? And the Bible never, ever said to force your beliefs on me or anyone, really. That's something you have to do through your own free will. Okay, that's what the whole purpose of the Bible is. Are you going to serve God based on your free will? That's the whole thing. That's the whole purpose of it. Okay, don't tell me how to dress. I know how to dress to work. I know. Okay, I fully understand. I'm always within those guidelines. Okay, if my ex-sister Tanya likes wearing her hair in a ponytail when she goes to a job interview, that's fine. Okay, but maybe I have other issues that I have to deal with my hair. You know what I mean? I can't really. I don't have anything to reproach myself for. I really don't, because when I look around at other women, I see what they do, and they get away with all kinds of stuff. So I get tired of being like singled out. Okay, so me being in this program, the situation that I'm dealing with is not my fault. I will never, ever I will never allow myself to internalize that like it's my fault. It's not my fault. It is not my fault at all. And no, I'm not moving. I have no plans on moving. I'm not moving out of town. I personally think that that's a rumor that somebody might have been circulating about me. For some weird reason, I keep getting that. I'm not moving anywhere. I don't have the resources to do that. Okay, but I have made attempts to in the past because it's like, well, if I can't find work, I have to figure out something out. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, because of all this bullshit, all this unnecessarily bullshit that got started that was beyond my control, and like I said, it's beyond my control. Who do I blame for this? I blame my ex-family for this. 100%. 100%. And even more than that. Yeah, I do. It's their fault. Okay, I came to this town to live a simple, seriously, simple life. You know, I mean, I understand this is a predominantly white community, but I still want to just kind of blend in and be kind of quiet, do my little job at work, come home, you know what I mean, do my little weekend jaunts and whatever, come home, mind my own business. That's it. Okay, the very fact that people in this town know me, I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with it. You know what I mean? It's like this childish game that has been played on the playground that went on too long. You know? And yeah, I do resent it. I resent it, and I have every right to. You know what I mean? It's like, and then, you know, I'm supposed to be grateful to these people. What should I be grateful for? What am I supposed to be grateful for? Every job that was set up for me, every job that I worked, I never got really any credit for the work that I did. All I got was abused. All I got was, you know, people causing me problems for reasons that really they shouldn't have. You know what I mean? I don't want to be anything. I was thinking a few days ago about how I realized and assessed the people that I was raised with. Okay? And when I was even at a young age, I realized that certain things that they did was illogical and wrong. And I made mental notes of it. I didn't want to judge them too harshly, like to where I felt like I should hate them at that time for it. I can't stand them now, but at the time I didn't think about it. But I realized, you know, this is not what I want. I don't want this. Not in my adult life. You know, I'm writing it out till I'm 18 years old, as my mother said. And then I'm getting the hell out of here, and then I'm going to establish my own life. And that's exactly what I did. Okay, but when we have these big-headed people, such as Jim Culligan, you know, who feels slighted because I didn't take interest in his church when I was younger. Okay, I went to your church, okay, and I understand. Okay, I didn't do it to slight you. It's just that I had questions and certain people were able to answer them. So I made that decision. It had nothing to do with you. Okay, I never had any encouragement from anybody in my family to join your path. Okay, now the only reason why they're doing it now is probably because it seems lucrative. There's probably opportunities. You probably have this whole network of blind followers following you, and so they want to like be a part of your little entourage because it seems powerful. Okay, is it scriptural? No, I will tell you right now. I highly doubt God approves of your bullshit. I really don't think so. Okay, I don't want it. Do not tell me how to live my life. Okay. I don't want your life. I don't want your choices. I don't want your anything. There's nothing I want from you. Okay? If that means something bad's going to happen to me, well, then I guess it's going to happen to me. Because there's no point in living life if it's not going to be something that is enriching my life. It just isn't. You know, I remember what it was like before I knew that you guys were behind pulling the strings to my life. And I remember how hard it was for me to try to be happy. And every weekend I would sit there sick to my stomach, severely depressed. I don't want that shit. Okay? I came out here to make a life for myself, not to be your fucking puppet. So anyway, I had to make that video. Anyway, so I'm going to wrap up this video and, you know, chug it along and figure out what I'm going to do. I have no idea. Like I said, you know, you can put forth all the effort you want to, but, you know, and it's not that I feel, seriously, I mean, you can put all the effort you want to into looking for a job in this situation, but whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I can't change that, and I'm aware of it. So, wrapping up this video. Have a great day.